Hello YouTube, Horror Hoarder back again with another video, this time taking a look at my Troma movies, well, some of my Troma movies. Today we're going to be paying specific attention to this tin set, which is called Toxie's Top 10, so 10 Troma movies, supposedly chosen by the Toxic Avenger himself. What is Troma? For those of you that are not sure, Troma is a company set up in 1974, 1975 by Lloyd Kaufman and Michael Hertz to produce, make and distribute low-budget horror films that really wouldn't have seen the light of day again after being made if it hadn't been for a company like Troma. They are usually bad films, very poor quality. Troma would buy the rights to them and try to re-release them basically. It's a nice tin box set on here. There we go. You can see all that there. It's a goo pack, a slime pack. It's got some radioactive material in the front there. It's a tin pack with 10 films on. So allegedly chosen by the Toxic Avenger. So they're going to be good or not. Anyway, moving on. We're going to start off the box set alphabetically. So we're starting off with Croaked. Croaked, the frog monster from hell. Also known as Rana, the Legend of Shadow Lake. It's got a great tagline on there. This time the frog dissects you. Yeah, okay. Right, so this is directed by Bill Raban and starring Karen McDermott and Alan Ross. Obviously we've all heard of those names before. It's basically a cheap rip-off of The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Moderately more violent. This is was not rated by the BBFC. It's an unrated disc. The film itself is from 1975. That was when it was made. It was distributed by Troma in 1982. It's described as the tension of deliverance and the unforgettable classic terror of The Creature from the Black Lagoon and Swamp Thing. Now, probably partly true. Yeah, it's not a great film. In fact, it's extremely cheap. Lloyd Kaufman, the owner of Troma, if you like, he put this in the top 5 all-time bad Troma movies. So this is a really poor film, really. Yeah. There it is, Croaked. Next we have Curse of the Cannibal Confederates. This again is an unbelievably cheap film. Very, very poor quality. Also titled Curse of the Screaming Dead. This is also not rated. BBFC are not involved with this. So it has a description on the back saying that it contains violence and language. Awesome. Bad special effects, extremely bad special effects. And again, Lloyd Kaufman described this film in his book as one of the worst of all the Troma movies, in the top 5 worst Troma movies of all time. It's about a bunch of deer hunters that are driving around the south. They stumble across an old Confederate cemetery. They break in, they act disrespectfully, steal a bunch of stuff, and bring out the wrath of the cannibal confederates, which come from their tombs and promptly attack them a couple of times. It's bad, really bad. I'd probably give this movie 1 out of 5. Extremely, extremely cheap, and possibly one of the worst zombie movies ever made. Curse of the Cannibal Confederates. Next we have Dead Dudes in the House. Now this wasn't too bad actually. I kind of enjoyed this film. It's also called Dead Come Home and The House on Tombstone Hill. It was made in 1991, released by Troma, I believe, in 1992. Starring Mark Zorbian and Victor Verhage. I probably haven't pronounced that name right, but you know. And Doug Gibson, can say that one. These guys on the cover are not even in the film. Not one of them. They're obviously a bunch of photographic actors that's just been hired to pose for the front cover. They're not in the film at all. It's basically about a crazy old woman and her daughter that like to go around killing people. Some years later, a new group of people move into the house. Not these, but the people that they are supposed to be. They move into the house, and all shit starts to fly. We start having some deaths. We realise that the old lady and her daughter are both zombies. They've come back from the dead to kill anybody that enters the house, and they do that with great relish. They go through everybody and kill off the characters, who then also come back as murdering zombies. Not too bad, this one, actually. It was mildly entertaining, very cheap, but it was quite an entertaining film. So yeah. Dead Dudes in the House. Next we have, excuse me, Deadly Daphne's Revenge. Deadly Daphne, eh? Now when I first saw this, I was expecting this film to be a rip-off of I Spit on Your Grave, which it wasn't at all. I'll read the back to you. A hideous crime, violated by a vile society. What does a woman do when she can't count on the justice from a court of law? She takes action. A reprehensible and brutal crime, and the only fitting punishment, Deadly Daphne's Revenge. Men will be shocked, women will understand. Remember, there's nothing more dangerous than a woman on a rampage of revenge. Now, does that not sound like I Spit on Your Grave? But it's not at all. That's not what happens. This woman does get raped, but she seeks no revenge, really. She tries to go through the courts. They don't really help out, so she doesn't do anything about it. And just oddly enough, at the end, the main villain, his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend turns up, and she is a crazy, crazy woman who kills him. So it's the plot is extremely loose. It doesn't make much sense. Yeah. Deadly Daphne's Revenge, starring Anthony Holt, Laurie Tate Partridge, and John Suttle. Directed by Richard Gardner. Okay. Not very good. Next we have Demented Death Farm Massacre. Now, this wasn't too bad. This is about a woman who, yeah, it's about, it's It's about a couple that uh, this is quite a difficult one to explain. A bloke goes off selling moonshine, leaving his new wife at home. His new wife then gets a visit by a gang of jewellery thieves who have just committed a crime. They break into her house. Now, this woman on the back, she is described as a country bumpkin with huge udders. That pretty much sets the tone for the whole film, doesn't it? So these criminals, they break it. Well, they break in. They're invited in. Eventually, they start to show their true colours, and the couple have to do something about it. Basically, it's a murder film yeah, it's kind of like Last House on the Left, I suppose. Yeah, it's kind of a rip-off of Last House on the Left. Yeah. Demented Death Farm Massacre. Nice artwork though. Next we have Fertilize the Blaspheming Bombshell. Okay. This film has Bo Hopkins in it. Now, Bo Hopkins is actually a fairly famous actor from a couple of things. Don't really know how they afforded him in this film, but they did somehow. This also has Sheila Khan. Sheila Khan, yeah. Now, Sheila Khan was married to James Caan from the Godfather film, well, the first Godfather. About this time, this film is from 1990, about this time James Caan went off and he was making films like Misery, really, really great stuff, and at that same time, or just before really, his wife Sheila was making trash like this. Fertilize the Blaspheming Bombshell. It is what it is, which is a low budget movie based on witchcraft, Satanism. It's kind of a rip-off really of Rosemary's Baby, I suppose. This woman, she is being chased by this group of Satanists who want to impregnate her with the spawn of Satan. Very cheap, very limited story, and awfully lit. This film, the first half of this film, you can hardly see anything. I don't even think they had a lighting department on set. It's very, very dark. Yeah. Directed by Jeff Hathcock. Never heard of him. Fertilize the Blaspheming Bombshell. Cool name. Next we have The Newly Deads. I'll read the back to you. Lloyd Stone's lodge for newlyweds is the perfect romantic retreat, with one exception: the dead demon in drag who keeps killing everybody. 20 years ago, Lloyd brutally murdered Jackie, a wild, sex-craved transvestite. Yes, Jackie's back, and she/he's got a bloody bone to pick. Now Lloyd's unsuspecting honeymooners are getting turned inside out, literally, by this skirt-washing, throat-slashing, cross-dressing zombie. That basically explains everything. Again, extremely poor quality, very, very low budget. The actors are completely wooden. The special effects are adventurous yet bad. This one is not rated again by the BBFC, and it says it contains violence, language and nudity. It does that indeed. Yeah, it's not not a very good film really. Not that any film in this box set are good, you know, they're all pretty bad, but some are more enjoyable than others. Actually, no, I'm going to rephrase that. Some are not better than others. I would say some of them are not as bad as others. That seems more accurate. Yeah. The Newly Deads. Next we have Space Zombie Bingo. Oh, this film is very much made in the vein of Ed Wood's Plan 9 from Outer Space. In fact, it's basically a cheap rip-off of that. Cheaper than Ed Wood's, I know. Sources on strings, bad acting, poor story. But then again, this film is not even trying to be serious, and in that sense, it's not too bad. I thought this film was mildly entertaining. It was good fun. It was obviously a comedy. Starring William Darko, Ramona Provost, and Hugh Crawford. And it is directed by George F. Ormrod. From distributed anyway by Troma in 1993. Space Zombie Bingo. Next we have Stuff Stephanie in the Incinerator. I would say that this is the best film in the entire set. It has a fully working storyline with some interesting plot twists and character development. As for the plot twists, there might well be too many of them. In fact, yeah, there were. Every time you went back to this film after a break, you noticed that all the characters had changed around and the plot was completely different. But they were attempting to make a film to be interesting to follow. And it wasn't too bad, actually. I've got to admit, Stuff Stephanie in the Incinerator is one of the best ones they made. It's not too bad. I did enjoy this film. The characters that you meet up with at the beginning, by the end of the film, have completely had their roles reversed. Okay, it's not what you're expecting at all. And I will say one thing, Stephanie never does get stuffed in an incinerator. Ever. It doesn't happen. So yeah. Stuff Stephanie in the Incinerator. Or not. Now, last and very much least, we have Video Demons Do Psycho Town. Now, this film is what it is. I'll read the back. Don't touch that dial. You're about to enter Psycho Town, where video demons control your every move. Where the vertical hold leaves you horizontal, these video demons take you on a gruesome journey into the world of subliminal psychic nightmares. Ride the dark and desolate highways of the inner mind. Travel through the video age as never before in Video Demons Do Psycho Town, where television viewing is definitely hazardous to your health. So it's got a strange sort of supernatural element to it. There is a serial killer roaming around in a yellow raincoat. It's one of those yellow serial killer raincoat films, really. In the vein of that film with Donald Sutherland. What was that? I can't remember. Don't Look Now. Is that right? Don't Look Now? Yeah, Don't Look Now. So it's kind of like a rip-off of Don't Look Now, with some extra supernatural-y things thrown in. Very, very poor acting. This guy on the cover, like with Dead Dudes in the House, this guy is not in the film at all. Okay, he is not even a character. He's just been put on the cover by those guys at Troma in a vain attempt to make this poor quality film look that little bit better. But it's not good at all. Written and directed by Michael DiGiorno, I think I said that right. Starring Ron Aragon, Donna Boltron and David Elliott. Yeah. From distributed by Troma in 1989. Video Demons Do Psycho Town. Crap. Absolute shit. So, that is the end of this video, looking at the Troma movies from Toxie's Top 10. I am going to say that the worst film in this set is Deadly Daphne's Revenge. I believe this is the worst film in the entire box set. It's extremely poor quality. As was Video Demons Do Psycho Town. Curse of the Cannibal, Confederates and Croaked, they were also really bad. Not worth watching, really. Fertilize, the Blaspheming Bombshell was okay, but like I say, it was too dark. There was no decent lighting in the film. The first half of the film you can hardly see. The Newly Deads was just bad. Just plain bad, really. Yeah. Space Zombie Bingo was also bad, but it was quite entertaining in a funny Ed Wood kind of way. I enjoyed this film, actually. Demented Death Farm Massacre was pretty good as well. Wasn't too bad. I did enjoy this film. Dead Dudes in the House was okay also. Entertaining it was. And I would say the best film in the entire box set is Stuff Stephanie in the Incinerator. Even though that doesn't happen in the film. This descriptive title never takes place. But the film is quite entertaining. It's got a fairly good story, adequate acting, some character development because of all the twists that come. There probably are too many twists, I would say, though, in this film for it to be for the mainstream palette. So yeah, that's it. That is the end of this little rundown of Toxie's Top 10. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please comment or subscribe, that would be great. And I'm the Horror Hoarder. Stay scared.